Is it good? Phone's ringing. Sorry, give me 1 second. Hello?
Noah, this is future Noah. This is the worst video I've ever worked on in my entire life. I've been working on it for 3 days, and I just can't make it good. You ramble on for hours and hours and hours. It is awful.
3 days?
Yeah, 3 days, but not like 24 hours a day, just a few hours a day for 3 days. That's how it works. We don't work full time on these things. It's an hour here, an hour there, go outside, do other things, eat food, come back.
That's how long you've been working on it?
I know, yeah. We thought it would be fun, but we're just not camera guys. Seriously, who gives a shit about cameras? A camera is a camera. You can use anything. I suggest people just use their iPhone. Art has nothing to do with the tool that you make it with. It's all about what you say with the tool that you're using. It's so simple. Everyone knows this. Anyway, we gotta figure out a way to get out of this.
Okay.
I have an idea. Just hang up the phone, say some bullshit, and then send us into an intro. We'll play the intro, and on the other side of that, I'll just come in and it'll be a normal Hotline show.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, well, we got future Noah helping us out. This is complicated, and it's stupid, and it's pointless, but maybe it's interesting? Hang in there. Let's do an intro. We'll come right back. Wow. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. It is the Hotline Show, number 76. Today is September 21st, 2025. That's the hair look. Okay, good. Well, apologies in advance. I feel like I might be losing my voice. I also hurt my back this week. What a fucking mess. As you saw earlier, I was gonna do a whole video on my camera, and I did. I recorded it. Then I was watching it, and I was like, nope, this is not good. We'll maybe try again, or maybe I'll put that whole thing up on the Patreon. We can take it from there if anyone wants to watch that. In many ways, I do think camera talk is interesting, and in many ways, I do think camera talk is the worst thing ever. So how do you meld it? I don't know. Working on it. One day we'll figure it out. Or not. Who cares? Oh, if you like those intro videos that I do, that you just saw, I was walking around, I have a whole channel devoted to that content. It's sort of like relaxing ambient wallpapers. You can just put it on. There's no plot. Just moving pictures. It's fun-ish. It's not supposed to be fun. It's just supposed to be. So if you like that, check it out. youtube.com/@Khalid. If you don't know, this is the Hotline Show. People call the number. It's in the description below. They leave a message. They ask a question. Usually it's about photography, but it can be about anything. Hopefully it's about anything. Did you get the new iPhone? Let's talk about earbuds. What are you storing in your root cellar for food. Hit that number or record a voice memo, email it to me, or you can do like our first caller today and our only caller, Edward, from Toronto, Canada. Send in a video call. This one's great. Let's watch. See you on the other side.
Hey Noah, this is Edward Rowe calling from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. First time caller, long time listener. I'm standing in a place called Badasagay Park, which means sunlight shining towards us, which it absolutely is. Next to the renaturalized Don River here, which just a few years ago, this would have all been dirt, and it took decades of political pressure and lobbying to get the government to invest billions of dollars to focus on the ecological restoration of this place. And it's a really great example of passionate, focused people and activism meeting semi-functioning political structure to result in good outcomes. I'm curious how you think about your work in this moment, given the political environment that we find ourselves in, with an administration in America that is threatening annexation of my country here in Canada, economically attempting to, or in some ways already decimating sectors of our economy, simultaneously decimating sectors of your economy, rounding up people in the streets, punishing political dissidents, putting pressure on media to remove voices, and in the same breath, removing things from institutions, art institutions, and national parks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I could go on. I've always found your work to be a celebration of the mundanity of everyday life, and that's not an insult, but it is a focus on the regular, the real, whether or not it started with your self-portraits, or something like your recent work with Protect the Network, where you're focusing on the systemic ways we change our environments, or the ways that your property changes or doesn't change. You know, that recurring theme of revisiting a place to see how things change, how they don't change, how major changes happen. Do you want to, or have you ever had a thought of taking your work and extrapolating it towards what's happening right now in America, the political situation, a broader, larger focus on things? Or if you don't have those thoughts, if you're not interested in focusing on the ways in which society is collapsing, you know, how do you find the motivation to consistently output and celebrate and focus on these beautiful small moments whilst all this else is going on around us? Because that's something I personally find challenging, and so I'm just curious about your thoughts. Have a nice day. Ciao.
Edward, thank you so much for that video message. So where do we begin? I think the core question that you ask is, how do I keep making work while all of this shit's going on? We know what's happening in the United States of America, and you obviously are paying attention to what's happening here and the knock-on effects that our country has for the rest of the world. It's somewhat monumental. We can't not see what's happening. That said, everything that's happening we all knew was going to happen if Trump won again, and he did. So that's why we were very upset. How do we keep doing it? Well, personally, I keep doing it because I have to. This is my job. Not necessarily this, although there is some income that comes in from this. It's taking pictures, making pictures, creating art, being commissioned, vaguely commenting on the world. All these things put together, is how I have created a life for myself. And yeah, I mean, my work isn't overtly political usually. So how do I make that work when all this other shit's going on? You know, because it's not speaking to that moment, this moment in time. It's just speaking to, my life and experience, what I see. It does seem so incredibly pointless. Who gives a shit? My pictures is the last thing anyone should care about. But I think there are some people who do not live in the darkest place like some of us do. And when they want a break from it, they need a break. Just give me anything but that. So I hope that the people who enjoy my work, that's part of what the appeal is, that it's something different, something less heavy. But yeah, that heaviness, it looms. It's so hard. I think the political discourse and how politics has infiltrated social media and our feeds, it's really ruined how, artists share their work. Didn't always used to be that way in the aughts, the late aughts and the early teens, Obama years. So different world we lived in. That said, the Obama years came from the Bush years. And that was a dark time, post 9/11. That shit sucked. We hated that guy. And there are definitely photographers who made work in that time that influenced me big time. In fact, I always think about this Last Days of W zine by Alex Soth, November 2008. So he kind of did that, right? He was making that work, the American landscape kind of work, but then he set out to sort of investigate what life looked like in America during that transition period. Because things were going to change, finally. So that's a way to do it. Now, personally, that's not the kind of work I make. And not to mention the fact that I feel like a lot of that has been done and there are people out there already doing it. It's just not my style. Over the years and throughout the years and taking pictures and working on many different projects and trying different things, like I found the type of photography that works for me and my lifestyle and the kind of person I am, which is not sort of investigating and interrogating society. Documentary photography to me is like not my thing. It's not for me. It's not my like documentary and getting in, that whole interaction. I think there's like a whole, I've talked about this before, but I feel like there's an exploitative nature to that. I don't like the making work that I feel like I'm taking from people. Like they exist, I'm going to go take from them and bring it back and use it for my own personal gain. When I take pictures, I want it to be a more collaborative effort. So it's more constructed at that point. So it's a different kind of photography. It's not journalism. It's not documentary. So how do you work in politics in that? Because politics is so real. So as a photographer who doesn't believe in like real pictures, telling real stories, like what am I supposed to do? There's not much. So I have to like just do what I've always done, as pointless as it seems in this particular moment. That said, all along the way, because I'm not just working on one thing at any given moment, I discover things. Photography makes us curious. It makes us go out into the world and uncover different things and things that we become interested in and fascinated in. And then we drill down into those things and learn. Okay, jumping back in here. I'm going to cut out this next part here because I really have no idea what I'm talking about. Good pictures. There are millions and millions of good pictures. Billions and billions of bad pictures. And I'm going to cut out this part right here just in case the regime comes for me. That's what I'm going to do for the time being. Last time. Going to cut it here. We're going to go to the end. I hope that made sense. I'm really not sure it did, but I just had to stop working on this. Let's stay as positive as we can and do the best that we can. Hope for the best, I guess. Going out and taking pictures and finding new things and discovering things and learning about something new, that makes me happy. And if I can make a picture from that and then I can maybe post it somewhere or make a print and someone really enjoys it, damn, what a life. That's still amazing. Edward, call back anytime. I'd love to hear from you. I love your perspective. Let's make it a regular thing. That's all we're doing today. Thank you. If you are still here, do this stuff. Like, subscribe, call the number, send a voicemail. Join the Patreon, patreon.com/The Hotline Show. there's extra stuff there. If you're ever missing me on YouTube, I might be over there being like, this is why I'm not on YouTube right now. Maybe that's where we can say the stuff we can't say here. Think about that. So until I see you again next week, maybe.